Hello my YouTube friends! Having more interaction with your audience to participate in your streams is the best way to attract and keep an audience. There's just something awesome about being able to trigger events that affect the stream. It makes you a part of the show. The one I'm going to show you today is this one here that can be used as a chat trigger for game deaths, epic fails, or whatever you want. It's pretty cool, so let me show you how it works. I'm going to use a free plugin and streamer bot today. They're both free and the links are in the description down below so you can download them and follow along. That is the best way to learn. So let's dig in. Let's go ahead and get it up and running, and it would be this one right here. They failed, with a little counter down there as well. Now this is also going to trigger a pretty cool little filter. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I right click here and I go to our filters, I'm using the move filter to flip the camera. So if I kick it off, boom, it flips the camera and then it comes back. So this alert will bring up a you failed, it will count, and then it will flip the camera just like that. So I'll show you how to do the camera flip. It's pretty simple. So what you're going to want to do is in the scene where you want this particular alert to be used, you're going to come over to the actual scene name. You're going to right click on it and you're going to go to filters. Now this is going to use the move transition filter. It's totally free. There'll be a link in the description to the move transition filter so that you can go ahead and download it and check it out for yourself. We're going to start this with the move source. So we would click the plus and we are going to go to move source, and you want to have the first one just be the start source. So change the name to move source start, and this is what you're going to get. So you're going to select the source, which is in this case my camera, my video capture device, and then the other thing that you want to do is click get transform right here, and that's going to actually get the layout for your actual screen. And I'm going to turn off the lettering here so that you guys can see this a little bit easier. Boom. So that's going to get the transform for your actual screen. And you don't need to do anything else but go ahead and create the next one, which is the move source flip. So you'll click the plus and you're going to go to move source and you're going to name this one move source flip. And then once you're in here, you're going to select video capture device. Now for this one, I selected 1000 milliseconds for the start delay. So what that means is it's going to stay on move source start for 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, and then it's going to perform the flip. So the next thing we need to do is get the transform. So what I did was I came out here, I right clicked. So you have to make sure that your actual camera is selected. Then you go and you right click here, and you go to transform and flip horizontal. So that flips it horizontally. Then what you're going to want to do is go here and get your transform. Boom. So we've got our transform there, and then you can just duplicate the start one by right clicking and going to duplicate. You put that at the bottom for your end because that's going to have the exact same screen setup as your start. And you can see how this works. So it goes to the first one, it goes to the second one, it waits 1000 milliseconds, it flips it, and then it goes to the end. So all we have to do now is go to our start, and we can scroll down here, and we select move source flip as the next move. Then we go to move source flip, and we make sure that our 1000 milliseconds is in there, and we scroll down here, and we go to move source end as the next move. And obviously, move source end doesn't have anything in next. It's not going anywhere else. And so this way, it connects them as a chain. When we do a move source start, it will basically set off the entire process. So that's how we set that up. It's really, really super easy. And then we can go over here to our messed up, and you can see we've got you failed. It's just a text file. So you click the plus and you go to your GDI text, you put your text name in there, and it will bring up our text. So I used black clouds, white sky as my font, and there'll be a link in the description if you like that font, you want to check it out. And then I just write the text in here. I make sure that we center it on the vertical and the alignment here. And then once I'm done with that, I click OK, and I right click it in here, and I go to the transform, edit transform, and I make sure that our alignment is set to our center. And for some reason this isn't, so I'm going to go ahead and fix it, and then drag it in here and click close, and then I'm going to right click on it again and go to transform, and then we're going to go to center horizontally. So now that's fixed. I do the exact same thing with this. This is going to change every time. We're going to put a counter on here. So this one is also GDI text. It's using the same font. If we go into properties, you can see it right here. We have it set to center and center. And then when we come out here, we want to go ahead and make sure that our transform is also set to center. And then we want to just go ahead and right click, and we want to go to transform, and we want to center horizontally. You make sure that it all fits in there really nice. Now the last thing I did was I went and clicked the plus, and I went to color source, and I created a black color source. So once you select your name for it, you just select your color. My color is just pure black, which puts the black background in there, and move it all the way to the bottom. Obviously it can't be in front of everything, it has to be in the back. So now we've got our text, and our text that's going to change, and the black color. So if I go back into my main scene and I actually go ahead and activate this, you can see that you can see through it. It's like, how did you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. So when we add this in, let's go ahead and remove it. When we add this in, we're going to add a scene. So we're going to go to scenes, and we're going to select our messed up scene. Click OK, and wait, what's going on here? That's not the same. Just right click, then go to blending mode, and then go to multiply. And there you go. You're all set. So now we'll just be able to see through the text. It will have a thing, and we'll trigger the flip from behind with our streamer bot. That's how the messed up alert is set up in OBS. Let's go ahead and show you how to trigger it in StreamerBot. So this one is going to be a chat command, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is right click, and we're going to go to add, and we're going to add fail on here and click OK. We can add a group or whatever if we wanted to, so we could add the group chat so that we know it's a chat command, and then we'll put it in its own little thing. We're going to go to OBS, and we're going to go to sources, and we're going to set a source visibility state. And so we've got main, and we will set our messed up as visible, and click OK. If we drag it over here, we can test the theory. There we go. We'll make it hidden, and boom. So we know it works. Now we can make that visible. The next thing we want to do, obviously, is trigger our event that's going to flip our camera. So we're going to right click over here. We're going to go to OBS, and we're going to go to scenes, because this was created in the scenes filters. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When we created this filter, if we right click and go to filters, you can see it's in the scene filter. I did not create this filter in the video capture device thing, because the move transition won't let you do that. So it's totally separate. It's over here in main in filters. So that means we're going to be using the scene filters function. So we'll right click on here, we'll go down to here, and we're going to go to scenes, and we're going to go to set filter state. We've got main, we've got move source start, and we're going to create visible. And if we test that, there we go. We can see that our camera will flip. So now we have the text that turns on, and then we have our move, which works just fine. And then all we have to do is change the visibility of our text again. So I think what we can do is go ahead and add some delay in here. So we'll go to core and we'll go to delay, and we know we have to wait a second for the camera to flip, and I think another second after that is just fine for this. So we're gonna do 2000 and click OK. Is that right? Not 20,000, 2,000. And so then all we have to do is right click and make this duplicate sub action, and we're going to just make this hidden, and boom and boom. So now basically what this does is it will make our text visible, it will flip our camera, it will wait 2,000 milliseconds before it turns it all off. We could put the delay 2,000 milliseconds up here, but it wouldn't really work. And in fact, this should probably be 1,000 milliseconds, depending upon whether this is going to run while this is running or not. We're gonna leave it the way it is now, because I think it's gonna work the way we want it to work. But all we need to do now is figure out how we're going to trigger this. So what we're going to do is go into commands, and we're going to right click, and we're going to go to add, and our command for this will be fail. So exclamation point fail, and what we can do is we're going to select the group. Now I have channel point system set up, which is cool, but we don't have to do that. It doesn't really matter either way. What we're going to do is go down here, and we're going to select the YouTube message. So this is going to get kicked off when someone types that in the YouTube message. And we have to select our action, which is fail. We can select that. And so now when someone types fail into the chat, it is going to go ahead and do that. Now, generally speaking, you probably want to use this in conjunction with some sort of channel point system, so that the person can't just keep typing fail in there. But you can also select the cooldown for this, so that they can't do it all the time. So you can have a global cooldown or whatever. So there's a certain period of time that will have to take place in between. You can also just make this a command that only your moderators can use. That way you have a pretty good idea that it's going to be used tastefully. So you could just select moderators, push that over into allowed, and then your moderators can mess around with you and tell you when you fail. But pretty much that's all we have to do. And obviously we can't test the text because we're not live. So we're going to go over and we're going to use our old friend voice control over here, and we're going to change it to fail right here, and select, and OK. And now when we say alert, there we go. Now if we want to add a counter to this, it's really not that hard. So I have the number 1 in there, but maybe we wanted to add a counter every single time that someone activates the fail. Well, let me show you how to do that. All right, so we're going to go back into actions, and we're going to go to our fail, and we're going to right click, and we're going to go to core, and we're going to go to globals and get. And you want to make sure that this is persistent, and we're going to call our variable set fail, and we are going to go ahead and make the variable set fail. Go ahead and leave default blank and click OK. Next, we're going to go ahead and right click, and we're going to go to core again. We're going to go to globals and set, and we want to make sure persistent is checked. Use our variable name set fail, increment, and we want to set it to 1 and click OK. Next, we want to go ahead and duplicate our get action once again. So we're just going to right click on here, and we're going to duplicate our sub action, and so that's going to sandwich in our set action. Then we're going to right click, we're going to go to OBS, we're going to go to sources, and we're going to go to GDI text once again. Now for the GDI text that we want to change, we need to go to our messed up sequence, and we want to select our counter, and we just need to set our variable, which is % set fail %, and click OK. So now all we have to do is go ahead and move these all the way up to the top in the proper order, and we should be good to go. All right, so one more thing I think would be cool to add is a little bit of sound to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click, go to core, then we're gonna go to sounds and play sound, and I'm gonna go ahead and select a sound to play. We'll select this fail sound, and we are going to uncheck finish playing before continuing, and we can test it here. We can turn the volume down. All right, and then we just have to put this where we want it, and I think this should probably start running right as we set our visibility states. So now we have a little sound that can play right along with our fail alert. So now all we have to do is test it. So let's go ahead and do that. I set up voice control right here, and all I have to do is say alert, and it will test it for us. So let's give it a shot. Alert. Very nice. Let's see if it counts up. Alert. And there we go. It is counting up. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So the last thing we need to do is give you a way to reset the counter. So what we're going to do is go over here, and we're going to add, and we're just going to call this reset fail. And there's no need to add it to a group or anything. It's kind of its own thing. And over here we're going to right click, and we're going to go to core, and we're going to go to globals and set. And our variable name in this particular case is set fail. And all we have to do is put a value in here. We can set that value to 0 and click OK. So now when we trigger this action, we can reset this to 0. The easiest way to do this would probably be just to do a hotkey for it. So we can add a hotkey, and we can basically just select the keys. So we can go with pretty much any key you want. So let's go with F10, and we'll go with Shift, and what we're going to do is just select the reset fail. And so now if we hit Shift F10, we don't have other hotkeys in there for that. It should reset our fail counter, and then when we go alert, you can see it is set back to 1. We're all set. Easy, right? If you're just seeing StreamerBot for the first time and you want to learn more about how to set up and use it, well, you can check it out in this video. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fira Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.